morning to you. It's Daybreak at 8:45. Fiber One News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey. He had a great guest in studio to help me focus on Shelton this morning. City Manager Ryan Wheaton on the air with me. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm just glad to be. This has been the best place for news all week long, so I'm glad to be on Daybreak.
There's been some news happening around this time.
Oh, it has been phenomenal.
We've seen a lot of conversations about all sorts of things going on, mostly dominated by county politics and county government. So we'll talk a little bit on focusing on Shelton here, brought to you by our Community Credit Union. 3 topics to kind of go over. Firstly, let's talk about the roads in the city. How's road work coming along?
It's great. I think that we have the best crew in public works out there, and they are there obviously every day of the year.
Yep.
This summer, they are focusing on getting some paving work done. I think that you guys have probably heard from Craig, and we've certainly talked about it at commission meetings, but they are working on an emergency repair program this summer that we actually got funded through the state.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we maxed out on a grant, $50,000 grant. I think they're about a third of the way through this program. We're going to hit 9 different spots throughout town, and it'll involve some repair of roads from the winter storms, and also getting some paving work done. And beyond that, on the planning side in Public Works, our engineering team is working on 3 grant proposals, which, if funded, certainly we're at the very elementary stages of these projects.
Sure.
They would fundamentally change the connector from downtown to Uptown or Mountain View. So we're looking at Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Alder, and really the whole stretch of Alder. We'll go from Mickey's Deli, if you will, to the library. And then looking also at a program that would enable us to fix one of the more heavily traveled areas in town, which is Olympic Highway North. So very exciting projects that we're hoping to get in front of the commission in the next couple months. And then we're going to submit those to the Transportation Improvement Board next month, and hopefully we'll find out in November that we have some good news for next year.
So you get some of these grant fundings, and a lot of these come from, you have to put in, pony up a little bit of money, and we'll match things like that. Does those funds come, are they separated from the new Transportation Benefit District? Is that where some of the monies can go into applying for these grants?
Yeah, so our grant match will likely come from the Transportation Benefit District. In addition to that, we have transportation improvement fees that are tacked on to construction projects, and so those 2 different money streams will go into it. And we understand that I don't think you could talk to anybody in any town and hear that they think that their roads are the greatest.
Sure.
I came from a transit agency where we literally drove millions of miles a year, and talking to those drivers throughout King and Pierce County, they would say the same things that people would say here. We would love to have these roads changed, and I know the staff would as well. We have some very hardworking people out there, and they are doing what they can, and we always come down to the same issue, which is we run out of money at some point. And so we're going to do as much as we can, and those Transportation Benefit District funds will help us stretch our money a little bit farther if we can get some grant money.
I'm going to have to bring Craig Gregory back on from Public Works. I just want to talk to him a little bit about the technology involved in roads and how long roads are supposed to last nowadays. I'm sure that it's changed enough where you get some pretty good mileage, if you will, on these roadways compared to the way they, concrete or whatever people used in the past.
We try, and then a winter comes and we cross our fingers and hope it doesn't do too much damage.
Sewer rates. Let's move on to sewer rates.
This is a topic that predates my time at the city. Obviously, it's been a hot topic. I think the bottom line is we would love to put the rates at what people would like to pay them. I live in the city. I don't live in Hoodsport or Greatview. I actually live in downtown Shelton.
So you see the bill.
I see it once in a while. My wife complains about paying it on my behalf.
Sure.
But I get it. I understand. And if we could tomorrow snap our fingers and make that bill lower or set it back to where it was before we did tens of millions of dollars of sewer infrastructure, we would love to do that.
Right.
The problem is that I would also like to lower my PD3 bill and my mortgage bill. And unfortunately, we have some debt that needs to be repaid.
Mm-hmm.
We understand the concern that people have, and we've heard it from the commission for months. And what we're moving forward with now is reassessing what we have to pay off and where we are financially. And we're excited that NOLA is getting very close to being up to date with our current budget, and that would now allow us to enter in some very relevant numbers right now into our rate model. And this is also not something that we decide alone. We bring in professionals that only deal with infrastructure and utility rates to give us an analysis not just for today but into the future what might be needed. So what we're going to do likely next month, we're going to vote on the potential that we update our rate models, not just for sewer, which we understand people feel is high, but also water, which we see as being very normal for the prices that people pay in this area.
Okay.
But we're going to bring those forward. The analysis that this firm will do, and they've done our previous studies, they'll put together an update based on where we are with ending fund balances, where we think we're going to be with infrastructure. We can update what might be needed in the next 5, 10, 20 years, and then we'll bring those pieces of information forward to the commission, and we'll let them know what the potential is. Do we need to lower it? Should it stay where it is? Do we need to start planning for infrastructure that we haven't thought about yet? And we're excited to have that be a public conversation. We will bring it forward to do the contract with this firm in the next couple weeks, and then I would expect people should see that probably in September, that we'll actually come forward and have that public discussion.
Well, a lot of things going on. Additionally, this Monday, could there be a potential vote for the city commission, the last three-person commission in the state, to maybe move into something different? We're hearing kind of rumblings about a council, a city manager, which is your position, and then a council versus some different options there, the strong mayor, council types of things. Is this look likely for a vote on Monday?
Next step will be Monday.
Okay.
I've been asked a few times, not just from people in the community, but on the commission. This has been asked since I came on board. I think it was asked during my interview what I thought about different options. Yeah. And I feel the same way that everybody else does at the city. We don't care if it's 3 people, 7 people, 50 people. We come to work every day. We do what we're supposed to do. We answer questions when they're asked, and then we come back the next day and do it again. Yeah. The question was raised about a month ago by one of the commissioners, and we were asked to explore what it would look like to make a change, and we have found that being the last in the state to do something doesn't leave a lot of information about how to move. And the question that we answered was really, what are the options? So the options that the commission has on Monday, they won't have the option to actually change. They don't have that ability. It has to go to a vote of the citizens of Shelton.
Okay.
So on Monday, the commission will make a decision as to whether or not we don't put that forward to a vote, and essentially do they make the decision that we stay a commission and stay the last commission in the state, or do they put forward a vote in November to allow the people in Shelton to decide, do we stay the way we are, or do we make a move to join every other city in the state and going to a council? And at this point, we have a resolution that we're finishing up, and we'll present that. It'll be online tomorrow so people can take a look, and we expect a vote Monday, so people are certainly welcome to come down and voice their opinion. And because of the size of our city, we are mandated to go to at least 7 people, so that will likely be the resolution.
Okay, so 10,000 people or so and 7 council. How do you, so I'm sure people in the city are saying that's 4 additional salaries, that's 4 additional subgroups, like handlers and aides and things like that. And if the city's already kind of struggling financially, how are we going to pay for 4 more people doing this?
We're not the county.
That's true.
So we are looking at options moving forward, and the first step would be for the commission to decide whether or not they're going to put it forward to a vote.
Right.
If they decide not to do that, citizens can do that through a petition process. So we could find out either on Monday or in November that people don't want to move forward.
Okay.
If they do want to, then we could certainly take a look at what our commission's paid and how that would be changed. People that are in office, nothing changes for them until their term's up. So we can't, and the commission can't go in and change sitting commissioner salaries. That's not something that we look at. But certainly as we move forward, you would have to do a division problem by 7 and figure out what that looks like in terms of having 3 versus 7. And I think that we would find that the budget that we have for commission now, in terms of where we are on the average for the state, we would be just fine in allocating that for 7 people.
I know that with 3 people, 2 people can't be together.
Right.
It's considered a meeting, and
right.
There are certain legalities with that. I can see just on that face better conversations between council members, I guess, is what it would be. Seems like a benefit. What are some of the other benefits? Just more representation for more neighborhoods in the city? Where do we kind of...
That part I haven't gotten into because this isn't an issue that staff are pushing. But I think if you called up a city, they would probably mention it. Obviously, there are smaller cities than us that have a 7. There are bigger cities than us that have 7. And that part I'll leave to the people that are looking at pushing this forward.
All right.
I can tell you the details about how we'll get there, but in terms of what we're doing next, we'll find out on Monday.
So we'll find out on Monday. Very good. City Manager Ryan Wheaton focusing on Shelton here today. Brought to you by our Community Credit Union. Good to see you. Have a great day.
Likewise. Have a good weekend.